up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How is your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going. We'll figure it out eventually.
So as you can see, we are
back in studio.
We are Packer fans.
And we're Packer fans.
Yeah.
Damn it. If I knew you were going to start it like that, I would have put the Packer sound effect.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Go, Pack, go.
Oh, that would have been good.
We probably just lost a bunch of listeners.
That would have been
They're
good.
like, turn this off. Yeah.
But why? We're number one in the playoffs.
Heck yeah. We're number one in the NFC.
The NFC?
Yeah, the NFC. The NFL playoffs are starting.
Yep.
And I feel good about the team this year.
What do you mean you feel good? Like you're playing?
No, not like I'm playing, but it's my team.
I feel
good.
You
know what? This is something good to talk about, because there was a time, man, like when the Packers would play. I love the Packers. I love watching, and I still do. I still love watching the Packers play. I like watching them win.
How did you become a Packers fan anyway?
When I was a little kid, I didn't really watch too much football. And
How young though?
I was little, and you know what? When Big Super was here, he mentioned something, and I always thought, there's these things that sometimes, I don't know, like you think that they happened or something, and if you keep repeating it, but when we were sitting here with Big Super, I was talking about when the Packers won their last or their Super Bowl in the 90s, and I thought I was way younger than I actually was. And I think I was already playing football by the time they won the Super Bowl. So I was a Packer fan before that. And maybe it was just like a game that it was like a preseason game or something. Yeah. And I asked my mom who was going to win, and she told me that they were going to win, and they won the game. And maybe that's when I started. But I don't know if they won the Super Bowl that year, because the year that they won, I was already older, and I had already played football, so I kind of started putting it together, and I'm like, I don't think I was too old for that. I was already into football. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it had to do with my mom and watching a preseason game, and I didn't really watch it, and they were on and they won. So that was my team.
I used to get a lot of crap from people because I'm a native. So I'm a native.
So you should be a
everyone
Cardinal
should
fan.
be a Cardinal. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, what? But I was never a Cardinals fan in the first place because I never understood football. So I never watched it.
Yeah.
Unless I walked by and some guys were bending over and I was like, oh, that's nice.
Look at those pants.
But when you came into my life, we started watching it. You started explaining it to me. Yeah. And then I enjoyed watching it.
Like you understand first down, second down, third down.
And I even know some of the, players' names. And so,
Yeah.
Whatever.
But what I was going to say is that back in the day, I mean, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. Like, I really love the Packers. I mean, it hasn't really changed, but just my attitude kind of changed. And there's a lot of people that they get so wrapped up into their team. And of course, we want our team to win. But if your team loses, like, even if they lose, like, look, I would hate for this to happen, and I would be fucking sad. Like if the Packers or pissed.
Yeah.
If the
like
Packers,
sad.
no, well, maybe not sad. It depends on how the game goes, right?
Yeah.
Like if I could tell that they did everything they could and they still lost, then I'd just be fucking sad because it's like, well, we just couldn't do it.
Right.
But if they could have done better and they were dropping balls and fucking missing shit, then I'd probably be pissed. Yeah. But the thing is that back in the day when they lost, like it would just, if they lost the Super Bowl, I'd be fucking screwed for like 3 days. Yeah. I'd just be like, I can't believe they fucking, oh my God. Now, I would be upset, but it's not going to last. Like, I'd be done with it in a couple hours or something. I'd just be like, oh, fuck, man, they lost. And then it would, like, I'd think about it, I'd be like, damn it, they blew it, But the thing is that I like the Packers, but I'm not a Packer. I don't get paid by the Packers. Right. Like, that's my team. I love my team. But I'm not going to like let it affect my whole life when they lose.
It's just affecting your life right there. And then when you're watching the game, the kids hate watching the game. And me too. I'm like, if you're getting I'm like, man, I'm out of here. I'm like, okay.
But the truth is like, you know what? I got other shit to root for, like root hard for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Our team.
And we all do.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
So, But go Pack go right now. Fuck yeah. I mean, they haven't looked this good since the year that they won the Super Bowl. And every year leading up to this year, there's always been something. Like the Packers have always been in the playoffs. They've always done well, but I never really felt comfortable with them going into the playoffs because they were always banged up. They always needed help. Like defense wasn't that strong. The offense maybe needed some help. So I'm like, they made it, but they're not going to go all the way. Like they have some really tough teams.
I see what you're saying.
But this year, we are the tough team. Like we are the team that people are saying like, shit, I don't know if you guys have it to beat the Packers. That's what's happening this year. So it's exciting.
Yeah. Yay. Woo-hoo.
So anyway, a little bit of Packers talk. Anyway, we're back in studio, obviously, as you guys can see, and we got a little new addition. We got our picture hung up from Joe Coy, and we had a contest last week, and we had some winners.
Winner, chicken
That's
dinners.
Right. So we did not forget about you. We're going to get you guys your stuff out. The only thing is that for those of you that have won the contest.
And what was the contest about for those people that may be watching us for the first time?
Yeah. So the contest was our last episode we shot at a special location because it was our 100th episode. And we told people to guess. And if you guess correctly, the location, because it's not easy to tell unless you know where we are, and you can kind of maybe look at a map or you've been to where we are.
Right.
So, if
or you know where we live.
Yeah, if you guess correctly, then we will send you a coffee mug and a T-shirt
and
or a T-shirt, something like that. Yeah,
coffee
from the
mug.
podcast.
Yes.
So for those of you that commented, make sure that you guys send us a message and let me know what my favorite Power Ranger is, favorite color. And if you don't know that, well, then you're shit out of luck. Sorry, but no, I'm just kidding. And
we'll have surprise contests every now and again. So follow us on Facebook.
The good thing is that our podcast right now is at the point where the people that won are family. Right. So we'll see you guys and we'll give you all the stuff anyway. So.
What's so cool though, because you and I both worked in other businesses where we didn't have the support from family. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, for the most part, I had some haters, but for the most part, they supported me, but you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
When you start a business, just all the naysayers, and a lot of the naysayers or the dream stillers, they call them, are normally family. And with our podcast, we have had a tremendous support from our family. So thank you, family, for being our...
And not just our family, our friends. And
that's true.
And there's a lot of people that we don't even know.
Right.
That support the podcast. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. You guys make the podcast what it is. So we have so much to talk about. I don't even know, where to start. I mean,
so it is the beginning of 2021, right? And I think a lot of us right now, if you haven't already got all your goals and everything sorted out, like what you want to accomplish for this year, then you're probably working on it. Like we are, right?
Yes.
And we've been working on it and we're still working on it. And that's something that when you're working on your goals, it's not a permanent thing. Even though it's the beginning of the year, we write down what we want to do. It's changing constantly. I mean, what I just wrote it all down like on a Word document, but it is like a living document because it keeps changing.
Right.
If at the end of this podcast or during the podcast, I think of something, then I'm going to go back to it and add it in.
Right.
Or change something.
And if you have a family,
you have to adjust.
Well, no. Yes. And it is important that you involve the children, and get them on a similar mindset. So we did sit down with the kids, and Joey shared some of his goals and Audrey shared some of her goals, and we're working with them to build that, because this is the first time that we actually talked to them about goals. So we had to kind of explain to them what goals are and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So just to kind of go over a little bit, and I have some good ones on here and then some that I need to work on. So kind of like use a checklist, which is kind of always at the top of my list because
like a to-do list.
I always fuck up on using the checklist. Like I start using it and then I stop, and it's really helpful. It does help me get a lot of stuff done. But I think use the checklist, I think it's too vague, right? I think maybe I need to figure something out, make it a little bit more defined on something, because it just says it's 2 words: use checklist. That's not really a goal, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I have to put some extra principle on the other house that we have. Do jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. That's pretty straightforward. I mean, 3 times a week is 3 times a week. You just got to do it. Read 12 books a month. A year. So
I'm like, a month?
One a month.
How are you going to do that? No.
And the reason that I added that one in is because last year, because of the pandemic and everything that was going on, like I stopped running. And running is when I used to listen to my books. You know, it would give me an hour, or if I was running long distances, a couple hours to listen. But I stopped completely. So last year, I pretty much didn't listen to many books at all, which is not good, right? So I need to get back on that. I want to teach the kids how to fight, which I need to define more. But they're in jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is a form of fighting, but it's not complete fighting, because in a real fight you might get punched
like
in the
street
face.
Fight, yes.
Yeah, you might get punched in the face. You might get kicked. If somebody's in your guard between your legs, in jiu-jitsu, you're not expecting people to punch you, but somebody might punch you, and that could, mess things up. So I want to help the kids in those areas so that they know what to do. Put hands on people and strangle them.
What about me?
And you too. And you've started jiu-jitsu this year too. So
I'll get into that.
We'll work on it all together. The kids can teach you some stuff. Right? Actually, what was it? Was it odd, the both of them that they both jumped on top of you and started freaking choking you?
It was funny. Yeah. We were on the bed and let's
Okay.
I don't want to
shiny.
I'll go off.
Yeah, I know. All right. So I want to straighten out the kids' bank accounts. All right.
Okay.
We opened up their piggy bank. We separated the money. We created them bank accounts, and it's just been sitting there. So this year, I want to straighten out their bank accounts. I want to put the money that we took out of the bank accounts for them. Not that we took it out to buy crack or anything or whatever, right? But no, we took it out so that they could buy some stuff to sell it. And I want to get them back to where they were when we set it up. And
more.
And then I want them to learn how to use the debit card, understand what the debit card is,
all that good stuff,
money coming out, money going in, and being able to purchase stuff. So I want to work on them, and we'll work on them with that this year. Teach Joey the times tables up and down, inside and out, and that by the middle of the year. And then help Audrey and Joey with Spanish, and that's something that we want to work on. And the last one, this is the personal stuff. And then the last one is to do 12 charity things for the year. Because that's something that
What does that mean? Does that mean volunteering? Does that mean donating?
Something, anything. Buying something, taking it down, giving it out, attending something, doing something for somebody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we have to do that.
Yeah.
The kids have to see that that's important. That it's not just us,
Well, last year we did some. I mean,
the thing is that
I did some.
We
did some together.
Yeah, we have. The thing is that we
could do
talk
more
about it, and we do some, but not as much as we could and we should.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. And then for the podcast, I want to get rid of the flyers. I want to create some road signs that I can put up on like exits and stuff like that. Create a resource list by the end of this month, which we're almost done with. I want to get the website done by the end of March. And finish the ebook by the middle of the year. Release 3 videos every week. Comment on 3 related videos to like similar to ours, and then post the link.
Post in groups.
Yep. Respond to all our social media comments. That one's tough because I don't always get the notifications, but I got to do my best to, when I get one, respond and do that.
Right.
Release the extra podcast on those months that we have to, which we've been doing good at. And grow the podcast 5 times. So I just kind of took all the statistics, the followers, the downloads, and then just multiplied it by 5 at the end of the year. And that's where we should be at the end of this year.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it.
So adding on to that, what about your health goals?
Well, and that's the thing is that we're going to work on that together.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah. So for me, obviously, adding on to what you have there, like personal goals, I'm really excited to just getting back to being healthy. And
you've been doing good already.
Yes, and I'm excited about it though. So I fasted for 4 days. getting back on keto, and I feel great. Like I feel amazing. And that's something before, when I would make goals, it was always to lose weight so that I can look good. And I noticed, like when I was writing down personal goals, that's no longer the case. And I've always wondered why my weight fluctuated, right? I was always like up and down, like so many of us. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. And I didn't quite understand why. And I was trying to think, is there any past trauma, maybe not having enough food like back in the day? And I'm thinking, no, we always had food. My mom always made sure we had food. So it's not that. Yeah. And I think it was more of a mental thing. I think it was deeper than that. And I think now the way I'm feeling and the way I'm seeing it, I want to get healthy. It's not about looking good or, I want to feel good in my clothes. But it's deeper than that for me, because like I was talking to Adriana and Joey about, just being healthy, and it's about me, and it's about us
all of us
as a family, because, I want to be here when our grandbabies are here, and I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to this great podcast, Dave Asprey. And I've been learning so many things. I mean, things that I never even knew about, the way our body works and certain.
What's the name of the podcast?
It's Bulletproof Coffee, and Dave Asprey is
Bulletproof Coffee is the name of the podcast?
Bulletproof. Sorry. It's called Bulletproof. He is the founder of Bulletproof Coffee. Yes.
So for those of you that don't know, a lot of this is based off of keto. So if you don't know what keto is, it's kind of like a diet lifestyle type thing.
Yeah.
So
it's more of a lifestyle.
Yeah. So what happens is like the way that your body gets energy, it gets energy from 3 different sources, right? It gets it from sugar and carbohydrates. Mm-hmm. It gets it from fat, and it gets it from muscle. Now, the first thing that it's always going to go for if it's in your body is sugar and carbohydrates.
Right.
But when you start to cut out all the sugar and the carbohydrates, then your body has no choice but to go after the fat. And that's when, if you start eating more fat, your body starts, it sounds like the opposite of what you should be doing.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what happens is that your body kind of takes it as like, that's my source of energy.
Right.
So I'm going to start burning that instead. And but the thing is that if you don't have fat, then it goes after muscle and it starts breaking down the muscle, which is not good. So you have to, it's kind of a balance. But that is what it's about, is cutting out the carbs and the sugar, taking in more fat, and that also helps you develop ketone bodies and all that. You guys can do the research.
Do the research. There's so many benefits to it aside from that, especially individuals that, have cancer, because sugar feeds cancer. So he had a guest on the podcast, and she had cancer, and she ended up fighting it, and she started learning about keto, and that's her go-to now. And now she's built this group of people, a Facebook group, and I can't remember her name. I should have wrote it down. But they are there to help people to understand and to educate people, because he gets scientists, he interviews scientists and doctors and all these people to back up what he's saying, so that it's not just him.
Yeah.
And he's all about biohacking our bodies. He talks about biohacking the planet, and he has scientists that come on and talk to us about that, like how important it is for us to take care of our planet for our next generation, because if not, our next generation is going to have a lot to do, like a lot to fix.
There was something, I don't remember where I heard, I don't know if it was from a show that we were watching. I mean, because if you guys listen to this podcast, we watch a lot of nature and nature shows and stuff like that. I don't know if it was one of those shows that we were watching, or if you told me, like, you heard it from somewhere, but it was like humans. It really freaking kind of blew my mind, but it was like humans are the only species on the planet that destroy the planet.
Yes. Yep. we are the virus.
Every other species on the planet, like they eat
yes.
stuff and they shit places, but that's like fertilizer for the rest of the stuff. Like we actually just destroy everything.
Right. And then I went back because you and I were on keto for at least 2 years.
Yeah, we were on it for a while.
And I swear I would have never been vulnerable enough to put, or confident enough to put a picture up of myself in a bikini. And I did. And that was all keto because I've always worked out, but I've never seen my cuts. Like I've never seen my cuts. And I just remember and I never felt like I was starving. That's the thing with keto. Like you never feel that like you're starving.
You're in a state of like, I'm not really hungry. I could eat something.
Right.
I'll just chill.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you feel, right?
Yeah. And then what you eat is filling. You're not eating lettuce and tomato and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
salad. You're eating like real food.
Because the thing with the carbs is you could fucking eat carbs until you explode.
And then want more even after.
Yeah, you're feeling like, ugh, and then you're like, I want ice cream.
Yeah, and the more you look this stuff up, it's scary how much sugar is in our food. So I'm really focused at becoming healthy, and in return, I'm going to lose weight and look good and whatever. And it's great for the skin.
And I don't know if I'm gonna do the keto thing. I might.
Well, he has to do keto for dinner because obviously I cook.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. But I think my goal is just gonna be to eat real shit.
Yeah.
Real food.
Keto's eating real food too, baby.
It is, but it's also cutting out certain foods that are real food.
Yeah.
And I don't, like these are they're.
But that's what he was talking about too. Like he was talking about it's okay to have
like if I want a fucking peach, I'm gonna
strawberries.
Eat a peach.
Yeah.
You know what I
like
mean,
it's
babe?
okay. You can have unlimited peach over here. But he was talking about like there's certain ways to do keto.
Yeah.
You don't have to block out all so anyways, the more I listened to him, the more I learned, and I started going to the gym. I'm like, my body was in shock, let me tell you, because here I am. I started going to the gym, right? I started fasting. I'm doing jujitsu because that's one of my goals.
Dude, you fucking went hard all of a sudden. I'm like, what the hell? But you stopped eating, started going to the gym, started doing. I'm like, you're gonna fucking die. What are you doing?
And the whole time I felt good. Like, did I?
Yeah,
right?
no,
I felt good. The first day, I felt like, the second day when I fell asleep, like I got a headache, but I started drinking more water. Like I was just feeding my body, liquids basically. It was just water, black coffee, and I had a little bit of bone broth. But other than that, like I felt great. So with jujitsu, I really liked jujitsu because we started jujitsu together. Miguel and I made the decision to start jujitsu with the kids, and we started, and I ended up stopping because of my sciatica. Right, so I started to feel aches and pains, and then I started looking around the class, and I started seeing everybody that was broken.
Dude.
And that scared me.
The people in jiu-jitsu that'll fucking kill you are the ones that could barely walk.
Right.
like they could barely move. They're like, but you get on the mat with them and they will fucking kill you.
So as a woman, Miguel is 6 years younger than I, and I'm like, I can't do this shit. I'm like, if I need to stay good. I need to stay healthy,
Yeah.
And so I ended up just walking away from it. And I made a decision, like you didn't even know. I told Marisa before I told you that I was thinking of going back. Really? Yeah.
Nice.
And I was just trying to figure out the time because I am very busy in the business. But it's like, okay, I started asking myself, like, are you making these excuses up? That's good. Are these excuses that you're making up? Because you own your own schedule. So if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
So stop using excuses. And not only that, but I want to show Audrey, that I'm not a quitter. So I may not be able to go 3 days out of the week. I might be able to go 2 days out of the week. Or maybe I have to take a morning class because I can't make the evening class, but I can adjust my schedule. And so, and not only that, I would like to practice moves with Audrey. And because she knows more than me, it will be cool to be like, hey, Audrey, I really want to get better at jujitsu. Can you teach me what you know?
Well, you can ask
that
her.
will help her.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you can be like, hey, what's that move where you do this and you do that? And she's going to be like, oh, that's a helicopter sweep. And then here, I'll show you.
Yeah. And what's so cool is that I hadn't been in there for how long?
It's been a while. Maybe a year.
Have you been going for 2 years?
I've been going for 2 years.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. And
or more.
Yeah. And so when I went in, it's like everybody was like so excited.
Yeah.
You know, so excited to see me. And they didn't make me feel a certain way because I stopped going. If anything, they were encouraging.
It's like, welcome back.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
it really is like a
really
family.
Good.
That is something that's really cool about jiu-jitsu is just the community, the people that are there. And, you know, I've only been to a couple jiu-jitsu gyms. And for those of you out there that have kids, I can't stress it enough. I mean, the kids need some kind of martial arts.
Yeah.
They need kickboxing. They need boxing. They need wrestling. They need jiu-jitsu.
They need to know how to defend themselves.
They need that stuff.
Yes.
And, you know, I don't want the kids getting hit in the head. And so jiu-jitsu is where we started. But the other stuff's important too. Yeah. But the jiu-jitsu is what works on people that are bigger. I
mean, listen, you know, we had a situation that happened with Adriana, and
out of respect for Audrey,
we're not
going to get into all the details of it.
But we need to just share with you all that if you have children, now I'm going to get into the video because how to tie all of this together.
So what happened was recently, like I mentioned when I was talking about the goals, I was looking up videos to put on the resource list. You know, there's a lot of things that we've learned over the years, and I kind of wanted to make a list of things that are helpful that we've learned that we can share with you guys, right? And when I was going through some of these videos, it's jacked up, man, because when you watch parenting videos, it sucks. It really sucks watching parenting videos because when I'm watching them, like we feel good. We're like, you know what? Our kids are doing good. They're sweet kids, this and that. And then you're watching the parenting video and you're like,
we fucked up.
What the fuck am I doing, man? Like you're a piece of shit. Right? So we have a long fucking way to go. Really long way.
Yeah.
We're doing okay.
Yeah.
But we got a long way to go. So
the
video, so we were putting together the videos and we were watching a video about parenting and the kids and, you know, being there for the kid, kind of like being the authoritarian in the house and, you know, you need to do
loving and in a manner to where your kids are not scared of you. Don't be so overbearing and so dominant that your kids are scared to come to you when shit happens. You know, so you are the first one they come to. They're not going to their friends because their friends make them feel more comfortable or they understand them or they're not going to judge them, right? And that it happened to us. And we recognized we were watching this video and
it's crazy.
It helped us.
2 days before this happened, we watched the video exactly about this.
Yes.
It's about kids going and talking to their friends instead of their parents because they don't want to talk to their parents because they're uncomfortable.
They're scared.
And they think they're going to get yelled at.
They're going to get in trouble, you know, and that's our fault. Like that's our fault. Like, and we talked, you know, to Audrey about it. We apologized to both of the kids about it. And we're adjusting. We're making changes.
This is the thing though. You were really hard on yourself about it. And it wasn't a good thing. And
let's not get too much into it because then I'm going to start bawling.
I know. But listen, the thing is that we do have some blame in it and we could have done better, just like everybody else can do better. But the situation turned out good. Yeah. Nothing happened. And we did end up noticing, we paid attention to what's happening.
We were present.
I noticed that something was up with Audrey.
Yeah.
You noticed that something was up with Audrey. And we talked to her and then we ended up figuring it out. And she explained to us that some of her friends already knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And one of her friends told her, you should talk to your parents. And all the other friends didn't say anything about talking to your parents.
There was only one, and she was the oldest out of all of them, who gave her the advice that she should come talk to us. And when I started talking to Audrey, you know, she told me I was scared to talk to you guys because I thought I'd get in, you know, big trouble. And, you know, she was ashamed and embarrassed as well. And so it is just so important that I can't even explain it the way he explained it, this video, but we should post it. We should post it maybe in the comments of this podcast.
The resource list is going to be coming out. It'll be in the resource list, and you guys can download it. And
so, there's just some adjusting and changes that we need to do, which we're already doing. But this was a great example on why, you know, we can be parents that are loving, caring, compassionate, but still have that authority to correct them when they make a mistake. But there's just a certain way to do it, you know, because we all make mistakes. And that's the thing, is that making yourself relatable. You know, like I shared a story with her when I was her age and a mistake that I made and how I felt and how I went about it, to let her know that we all mess up. At your age, I made many mistakes, baby. Your daddy made many mistakes, because the kids feel that we're so old, like we're so above them,
it's
right?
Fucking crazy. Like they see us that way.
Above them that we don't understand.
We don't get it.
It's almost like we're aliens from a different planet. Like you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to understand, Mom. And that's what she was at first getting to.
Yeah.
Until I started being vulnerable with her and talking to her about the mistakes that I made at her age, and talking to her about, you know, one of my boyfriends who got shot, and, you know, really just going into it with her with all of this.
Yeah.
And I think that started to soften up the conversation, and it took a minute for her to finally open up to me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not too late. We have time to correct this.
Yeah. And one of the things too that I heard on the podcast with Joe Rogan and Kevin Hart, for those of you guys, I think it was the last one. I mean, the podcast with Joe Rogan and Kevin Hart, they're incredible. So whatever podcast that Kevin Hart is on with Joe Rogan, check it out. But one of the podcasts, I think he was talking about his kids, and he has this rule. And I told the kids upstairs, I'm like, look, if something is going on and it's a serious situation, you always can come and talk to us. And I want you to know that if you come to me or your mom and you say, Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you, please don't get mad. But I have to talk to you about something. That is the end of it. We are not, we'll remain calm.
Yes.
We're not going to get mad. We're just going to talk. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get grounded. We'll figure the situation out.
Right.
We'll fix it together. The thing is, don't abuse that privilege. Like Mom and Dad, you told me to clean up my room.
Don't get mad.
I need to talk to you about something. My room's a disaster. Like, no, that shit don't fly. You know what I mean? But when it's something serious, because we want them to have that, to be like, fuck, what have I done?
Yeah.
What am I going to do now?
Right.
I need to go talk to my mom and dad.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we're getting that.
Right.
I mean, this time it wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to get better.
See, but the thing is that a lot of us, and even those that are watching this, you may have no idea.
You have no idea how much they know.
Had no idea of what we were doing wrong, though.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we had no idea. Like, I thought that I would be the first one that she would come to if something like that were to happen, because I felt that we had that open relationship.
Yeah.
You know? And so when I was talking to her, I knew that I had to listen. I knew that I don't cry. Like, I had to keep myself together, keep myself composed, and just listen. And I didn't break down until I came to you.
Yeah.
She didn't see any of that until I came to you.
Yeah.
You know? And as a mother, and people are probably like, what happened? What happened? But, you know, as a mother, like, guilt started to come into place, you know, and just all these emotions. And we were supposed to record this podcast last night. And I told Miguel, I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not in the right, I wasn't in the right state of mind. I couldn't fake it. So, you know, I asked
it would have been
if
too
we
much.
could. Yeah. So just know, parents, you know, just be aware, be there for them, and have a conversation with your children. And the thing of it is that you can tell them, baby, you come to me, but I won't get upset. But the first time they come to you and you get upset
and you blow up,
you're done. Like, seriously, that's it. No.
Do you think that it has to do with, you know, because with their friends, so like I before, I would feel like we have that relationship with our kids, right? Just like you did.
Yeah.
Like, when something happens, they're going to come and talk to us.
Right.
Do you think that the reason that they don't come is because with their friends, they have that, but they don't have the other side that they have with us, where it's like, hey, put away your dishes, put your backpack away, go clean up your room. Their friends are never telling them shit like that.
Right.
Now, of course, we have to do that as parents.
Right. We have to show them responsibility. We have to. Yes.
At the same time, there was that one video that we were watching where instead of being an authoritarian, it's like explaining to them the reasons why they're doing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that it doesn't seem like you're just like fucking barking at them all the time.
Right. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. You know what?
I don't know. I'm just thinking.
No, you're right. Because there was something that I was reading or listening to, an audiobook, and they were talking about that. And that's why I changed the way I speak to you, because I know that I can be that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, very short, you know, and almost seeming bossy. Now it's like, when I ask you to do something, I'll ask you to do it. Baby, can you please? Right?
Yeah.
Versus take out the trash. Miguel, you haven't taken out the trash? Take out the trash.
What the fuck? Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and most of the time you'll see me, you know, there, and you'll be like, baby, I got that. Yeah. You know, but it's the same thing, like giving the same respect that we have for each other. They're little adults. So instead of barking at them or nagging, right, at them, just talking to them and treating them like a young adult versus as if they're beneath us.
Yeah.
You know?
So for the new year, the first book that I'm going to be reading is Raising Lions. Yes. I'm going to start that book from the beginning. It's a parenting book. And I'm going to start from the beginning and start running and just knock that book out this month.
Good.
So
yeah, I need to finish that. I think I got halfway through it. I've been doing a lot of podcasts, though. I've been learning a lot on podcasts, but I've been listening a lot to that Bulletproof Radio. I'm
glad you're finally getting into podcasts.
Shut up. I have so many.
Just kidding.
I'm talking to you about my podcast.
You're coming up to me like, dude, I heard this on the podcast. I'm like, what are you? Well, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, just that. But yeah, no, I am so excited. Like, you know, we're starting good. We're getting our team together.
And you guys can help us get better.
Yes.
By going to oppositesattractpodcast.com.
Yes.
And sharing the podcast with those that you know. You guys can subscribe to the podcast there. You can follow all of our social media. And you'll also see a link that says support the show. If you're online on the computer, You'll see a tab at the top. If you're on your phone, if you hit the menu button, you'll see the support the show there. If you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. And anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a little kickback and it helps out the show. You'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
Trust Inc. We are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of work for title companies, lenders, law firms as well. So if you are looking for a notary, give us a call.
Yep. We're also affiliates with Libsyn, which is who hosts our podcast. If you guys have thought about starting a podcast, if you have a hobby or something that you're passionate about and you want to put it out there and talk about it, if you go to Libsyn, that's LIBSYN.com, and you use promo code OAP, they'll give you the rest of whatever month you sign up in for free, which right now we're at the beginning of the month, which is a great time. So you'll get this month for free, and you'll get the next month for free for trying out Libsyn using promo code OAP for Opposites Attract podcast.
So I'm going to tell you this so I don't forget, because I still have stuff I need to share. I think that we should talk about the things that we did not, the goals that we had last year that we did not reach.
Yeah,
or just completely stop, because people need to also know our failures.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Most of them we did not reach, but we got better.
We did pretty good though, you know. But yeah, there's some things that we dropped. So, anyways, going back to all of that. So, you know, just my health, focusing on my health.
Nice.
Again, focusing on becoming, you know, just learning on how to parent, right?
Yeah.
And
fucking wake up call, man.
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And just being real with the kids and allowing them to be real with us, you know?
This is the thing. When something like that happens, when you have a serious situation, you have an opportunity.
Right.
You have an opportunity to grow. That's what it's all about. Yeah. And that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it.
Yes. And with Trust Inc., I don't think I want to grow it any bigger right now.
What the hell? We just talked about growing.
No, well,
I'm just
because
kidding.
we do have a lot of clients.
I know what you mean.
You know, I have another additional client. Woo, woo. We got an email saying that another title company is bringing in our signing agency, mobile notary agency. So that's super cool. So what I want to do, my goal is to go back to the title companies that brought us in and just stay top of mind, meaning, you know, just reaching out to them more, gaining more business from the escrow officers that are already in the title, in that, you know, whichever title company, just reaching out more.
Your business.
Gaining more though, because I may be only working with 2 escrow offices and in an office that has 8. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So just doing that. And I used to do pop buys all the time. And if you're a real estate agent, you know what that is.
What is a pop buy? Because that's not just for real estate. People can use that.
People could do that. Yeah. So I make these. The M&M. Remember the M&M containers? M&Ms. And it would have my logo in the front. And
it was like a little jar, right? And it was like M&Ms. A pill. It was a chill pill, like a chill bottle. But the purpose of it is you're giving people like a little M&M thing with snacks, but it's got your logo on it. Right. It's got your contact information.
They're meeting me personally.
Yeah.
And that's how I racked up a lot of business. But when COVID happened, like, you can't walk into their offices anymore. They have the doors locked and nobody's in. So I have to figure out another way around that.
To get back in there.
Right. Maybe getting a list, because I can easily do that. Get a list of all the escrow officers in that title company. Maybe it'll be mailing something instead. Yeah. You know, so I have to you got to change with the times. Yeah. And, you know, so many of us are holding on to what was, and we need to focus on what is now.
2020 is gone. This is what it is now. So we need to navigate, and we need to figure this out and navigate the new world that we're living in.
Yeah.
Because we can't just, you know, see what's going to happen anymore.
Yeah. And I want to start also looking into life coaching as well. So, you know, just looking into that, maybe taking some courses on that.
All right.
You know,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And that excites me. And that's how I know, like, when I listen, because there's a podcast that I listen to regarding this.
Look at you.
And how she starts and the difference between becoming a therapist versus a life coach. Yeah. And it's so crazy, because a lot of the therapists are becoming life coaches, you know, because a therapist only can serve wherever their license is. That's the only state that they can serve. When a life coach can serve in any state, like, there's no certification for that. You know, so it's kind of
that would be a good, like, you get your life coach and then you're just like, look, I'm certified over here. I just haven't done it everywhere else.
You know, yeah, like wherever we move, it comes with.
Yeah.
You know, and just continue. We want to get another investment property. So, you know, focusing on that and snatching more cash away for that as well.
Yep.
You know, yeah. So
nice.
There's a lot going on.
There is.
You know,
there
and
is a lot going on.
Start,
and that's just us personally. There's a lot of stuff happening out in the world. There's a couple things that I wanted to mention that have been happening. So,
do we have to talk about the world right now?
No, yeah, we actually kind of do. But so there on Thursday, Tesla stock went up and made Elon Musk surpass Jeff Bezos as the richest person in the world. So his stock ended up getting Elon Musk up to $185 billion.
Wow.
That's freaking insane.
Yeah.
So he's the richest person in the world now. And there was an article that I read that from this other billionaire, and he was saying that not to get rid of the Tesla stock because he could see it tripling or something like that. I don't know. Don't take my freaking financial advice for this shit.
When it comes to investments, forget about it.
Don't fucking hit me up and be like, Miguel, I put everything on fucking Tesla and I lost it. You know?
Oh, I forgot
that's not
that
me.
we stopped talking about the team. So after you're done, remind me about that, okay?
Okay. So he ended up being the richest person in the world now. But this billionaire said that he could see the stock tripling and Elon Musk becoming the first trillionaire in history, which is freaking insane. But anyway, so that's something new. We also had the protest or the riot or whatever you want to call it on Capitol Hill, which is freaking insane, man. And you know what? I'm not even going to get into it about this team and that team.
No.
This happened to these people. This didn't happen to those people, or these people were treated different. You know what, man? I'm done.
The bottom line
I'm fucking done with all of that shit.
You know what? This is the bottom line. It doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters, people. And the thing of it, if you're going to represent someone, represent them in the right manner. Do you know what I'm saying? Without the violence.
Yeah.
Without all the craziness. Like, I mean, if I was the president and my people decided to go out and do the things that everyone was doing, like breaking windows and doing that, I would be so upset.
For all sides.
For all sides. I would be so upset because that's representing me. You're representing me, and that's not what I'm about. Yeah. And my people, that should not be what you're about. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can all just come together and love each other. Go ahead, babe. Play your music. No.
I'm like, should I?
And support each other and have compassion towards each other, you know, and try to understand and not judge one another. We can all find a common ground, right? Like, we can all find a common ground.
That's right.
I mean, we're all made up of the same shit, right?
The same shit, all of us.
The same shit. Yes. Right, the only difference is you got a penis and I have a vagina.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference.
That's a pretty big difference.
But no,
but we all have feelings.
Yeah.
You know, we all go through wins and losses and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. But you know what? We got so much stuff happening right now, and us personally in our life, you know what, man? I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for anybody else's bullshit. Like the politics. You know what? I got my own shit I need to figure out. Right. Yeah. You know, with what happened last night with the business, and it's like, you know what? I need to the time that I have, I need to focus that on the stuff that's going to be making a difference for us. Yeah. I don't have time to be fucking. I'm just going to make sure that what we do is correct, and that's it. Right. I just can't. I can't. I'm not. Regardless of, people let that shit get into their head and it influences them. It's like their fucking football team. So you know what I mean? Let me share this with you. Yeah, I get it. That's what you were saying. Yeah. When I saw that, it emotionally triggered me. Like, I started. You know how I am. Like, I see that and I start thinking about, what is this world coming to? What are we coming to? And what is wrong with mankind? Like, what the hell is going on? You know, and I feel that it's a good thing because it's shining light on all the lies and everything that we've been told. You know, we live in, you know,
freedom of speech. Where in the hell did that go? Like, yes, there are some things that need to be changed and that we need to stand up for. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Yeah. And it all starts with us. It all starts in our home. The way we are teaching our kids. We are leading by example, every one of us. And our kids see the way we respond, the way we react. And so I feel that if we were to take responsibility for our actions and really start focusing on the person that you see in the mirror, everything else will change. And that goes from the top. It starts from the top and comes all the way down. So I'm talking about government. I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to start reading some personal development books.
For real.
We need to send them our resource list. Like, you people, these people, they need some God in their life. They need somebody to hug them and just love on them. Exactly. They need some love in their,
But speaking of freedom of speech and all that stuff, if you guys don't know, President Trump had his Twitter account permanently banned.
Should we talk about this? I don't want our stuff to be...
you already mentioned it.
Did I mention names?
Actually,
no, I did not.
Okay. No, fuck. I already said. I don't think that. Anyway, so that account got permanently blocked, like permanently. And then the blue social media thing with the F on it, that one got suspended. His personal one got suspended. If you're watching, you might be watching it on there, watching the podcast. That got suspended until the inauguration. Now, I was talking to you about it, and regardless of how you feel about the president, I think that's it. That should be illegal. Whether he's on your team or not on your team, or you think he's ridiculous or he's your guy, whether it was the next guy with the blue tie on or whoever, a guy that I don't like, I think it should be illegal to block or ban the president, regardless of whose side he's on. I mean, he is the leader of our country. And if he is communicating to us through these platforms, he is supposed to be a public servant, right?
Right.
So that should be illegal that you block his communication.
I just don't get it. Because of that we have the freedom of speech. How is it when you start speaking truth, and if they don't like the truth...
No, it doesn't even have to... It's not that it's truth. Well, it goes against what they're saying.
Right. Okay, so that's one part of them blocking freedom of speech.
Regardless of the truth, it's, I don't agree with what you have to say.
Right.
This is my thing. Right. You're done.
Right. And yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's not right.
I was talking to you about this, so there's different ways that you can be blocked, okay, depending on what you're talking about. So
give out that podcast. That was a good one.
Yeah, so Bulletproof Radio with Dave Asprey. He was interviewing
Brian Rose.
Okay, Brian Rose is the founder and the CEO of London Real podcast. Okay.
You guys might have seen it on YouTube. I've seen a few of his videos on YouTube.
And there was a conversation that was being had on would you want to talk about the live? Ahead. I don't remember like all the specific details, but there was a live podcast that he was doing, and a lot of people did not agree with what was being said, though what was being said was the truth.
Yeah.
He got blocked from everywhere. I mean, from YouTube, from Facebook, even LinkedIn. Like, they pretty much shut him down.
They canceled him.
Yeah.
That's something that happens today. If you're a popular person, and I don't even know how popular you need to become, because it happened to us.
Yeah.
It actually, we're a fucking tiny podcast in the podcast world.
And I don't even remember what we were talking about.
That's the thing, is it wasn't even crazy. And I'm not even going to say the name, but there was the reason that we started putting our video podcast on the blue social media with the F in the middle is because our podcast got taken down on the red social media thing with the little triangle in the middle.
Yep.
So when that was blocked, then I was like, well, now our people can't watch our podcast, so I need to put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's what actually got us, to expand it a little bit more. But what they were talking about on this podcast, which, I definitely recommend it, and it really opened my eyes, was he said, if you think about it, back in the day, like during the times of slavery and the women's suffrage where women couldn't vote and women's rights and all that stuff.
Yes.
If back in the day you started talking about rights for black people,
right,
and rights for women, and women's right to vote and all that stuff, that was controversial back then.
Yes.
And they would try to keep you from saying that stuff.
Right.
And a lot of the same things are happening today. But because back then slavery and, suppressing women, that was like a normal thing, then that was like the status quo. That's what people live their whole life. So if you're going against it, you're kind of going against the grain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening today. Like, it was more normal back then, like for slavery or treating black people unfairly and women.
But imagine if we had social media back then.
Oh my God.
Where would there be changed? Would that change have happened if they were just silenced? Do you see what I'm saying? Because what they did back then was they did their
version of
they
canceling.
Did protest. They protested for their voices to be heard, right?
Yeah.
And some of that is coming back. But the reason why things were changed was because they were being heard. And today, because of social media and everything that we have going on, it's so easy just to
cancel somebody and take it down.
Right. And so if we are not educated or unaware of what's happening, and all this is being leaked out somehow, the information, they don't want this information leaked out. Well, the easiest way to shut them down or shut them up is to shut them down. And so what he did, Brian Rose, what he did, he created his own live stream platform. When they closed him down, he said, okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, this is what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And he created his own live stream podcast, and it's just amazing that, because most people would have gave in, right? Just gave up. But instead, he decided to
fight.
Yeah.
To figure it out and get it done either way.
Right. But there's a right way and there's a wrong way.
Yeah. And shit. But when they're fuck. I don't even know. Because when you're, this is the thing. If you're storming the Capitol, a lot of times they fucking deleted the president's Twitter account.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking that is part of it, I mean, him getting his Twitter account deleted and that happening, and then the blue logo with the F in it, that getting suspended, that happened after the thing that happened at the Capitol, right? The protest at the Capitol. But the things that have happened in the past, like them blocking his social media or certain things that he's saying or whatever.
Yeah.
That's part of the Second Amendment. And there's some people that are like, look, they're freaking, if they keep going, we're going to lose it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it happened, or that had something to do with it. I mean, I know it had to do with the elections and all that, but
right.
I probably shouldn't have even said the E word.
No, you shouldn't. Be careful.
Before we get canceled.
I know, right?
What the hell, man? You know what? Focus on yourself. Focus on your family. That's the shit that's important.
Yes. I didn't even plan on getting into this. It just happened. No.
Fucking political talk with Miguel and Sonja. What the fuck? Anyway, so the kids, they're on this freaking hybrid schedule.
Yes.
And
yes.
So hybrid schedule, like half the days they go into school, the other half they stay home, and other kids go into school, so that way you don't have a full classroom or whatever. But I was working from home on Wednesday last week, and I get a fucking email saying that the kids have a half day.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck is what the actual fuck is going on here?
Right.
These kids fucking don't even go to school anymore.
And now they have
a half day. And now when they do go to school, you give them a fucking half day? What the fuck?
Right.
I
think all the kids this year should be held back.
Dude, I almost lost my mind when I got that email. I'm like,
I know. I come home and Miguel's like, I'm going to the school.
I'm fucking walking.
I'm going to the school.
Not walking. I'm driving I'm talking.
I'm going to the school.
Dude, I don't get it, man. It's freaking crazy.
Dude, it's just rolling with the punches, man. That's what I'm talking about. Rolling with the punches.
Yep.
You know, we just got to do what we got to do in order to get past this crap.
Yeah.
You know, everything that's happening. You know?
Yeah. So
we're going to be old talking to our grandchildren about 2020. When this thing passes, think about this. This is so crazy. And say we're 20 years older, okay? Yeah. And we put on a jacket that maybe we had stored away. Whatever. We just found, somehow got lost and found. And we put our hand into the pocket and we find a mask.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That'd be crazy. Like if we're not going through it anymore.
Right. Like it's done and it's over with. It's 20 years. Yeah, we're 20 years older.
And you find one of your old masks. You're
right.
Like, holy shit.
What the? Right?
That'd be crazy. 2020? That'd be insane.
You know, like that's something that we can educate our grandbabies. Because if they go through something similar, teaching them and talking to them and, you know, about what happened.
Yeah.
I was talking to this older couple and we just got into the conversation about millennials, Generation X, their generation. We started talking and they were talking about that, how their kids don't see them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
They feel kind of like Audrey was telling me last night. Like, Mom, you're not going to understand, Mom. It's 2020. I'm like, what the holy shit. Like, really? Am I that? Do you look at me that old?
Oh my God.
Like they're invisible. You know, like they know nothing. And I'm listening to them and my heart is just breaking. But I'm like, I feel the total opposite. Whenever I get a chance to speak to an elderly person or couple or whatever, I love to sit there and soak in everything that I possibly can soak in. I'll ask them how long they've been married.
Yeah.
I'll ask them, you know, what's kept your marriage together? What has been a huge challenge? What kind of advice would you give, you know, a young couple, even though we've been married for 12 years?
But we still want to learn.
I love to learn from them. And I think that that's where we are going wrong. Like we think that just because they're up there in age.
It's like, shut up, old man.
Right. You know nothing. Or, you know what
yeah.
I mean? A lot of the wisdom that I've received have been through my clients that, you know, that I interviewed while I'm doing a signing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just sad that we do that. You know, because they are the ones who've been through some shit. They've been through something similar.
Yeah.
You know, how do they make it out? What do they do?
Yeah, they've struggled.
Yes. And then those that have struggled and have won, that are winning, that are living in these beautiful homes and are retired and have a vacation home but came from nothing. Are you kidding me? They have so much to teach someone that's willing to listen, but most of us are not willing to listen or even pay attention.
Yeah.
Right? Like we don't pay attention. And I think that that's something that we all, you know, can do better at.
Yeah.
It's just sitting down with our elderly and talking to them, and they have so much to share. And they're so open to share. They love it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool. Yeah, they got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some that you may not want to learn from, but you can always feel the energy.
I mean, you can also learn what not to
energy. Do. Right. Because when I sit down with a happy couple that has been married for 30, 60 years.
What are you doing? Right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
What's made a difference?
Yeah. Yep. So stop dismissing your grandparents.
Yeah. So, and with that, Thank you guys for being with us. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com.
I was just getting started. No.
Make sure you share it with the people that you know. You can follow all of our social media there. You can watch the podcast there. You can listen to it there. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you for your love.
We're just getting started.
Yes, I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for the new you and the new year. Push through. Don't give up. And with that, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.